Anirudh, thank you so much for accepting our invite and joining us. Okay, so mostly we'll try to discuss about AI, how it gonna work in the future, especially, right, our student community of 1 million. People don't have a lot of awareness on this AI, how exactly AI gonna change the enterprise system or technologically, all domains are getting impacted with AI, right? So let's discuss about what is this AI, generative AI, agent AI and all. And in terms of entrepreneurship, how it gonna impact in terms of technology per se, how the things will change. So let's try to give them some light. Maybe the person who is working on this, if you tell, people will get to know more on this. Before all this,
Amazing.
Anirudh, can you give us your journey, like where you started, how this all happened, you built this empire?
Well, we're not an empire yet. We're still a
Definitely it will
small
be a big impact
setup.
then.
uh, but I would say, first of all, I think Shiva started the company.
Mm-hmm.
To give you some context, I my first job out of undergrad was at Tesco in 2008,
Okay.
and that's where I met Shiva, who had also joined as a software developer there.
Mm-hmm.
And but otherwise, a little bit about me. My dad was in the Air Force. I've been all over India. I was born in
Okay.
Delhi, originally
Mm-hmm.
from Tamil Nadu, but I've lived in Bangalore since I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always kind of identified myself more as Indian rather than just from a specific city. But I think
Okay.
over and above that, uh, played a lot of basketball growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I've seen you played for district, state level.
yeah, and I would say that was again something I thoroughly enjoyed as a kid. I mean, like I used to play for at least 4 hours a day, so it was good to. And my brother played a lot, so it kind of became a big piece of my life and identity in school and college. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise, I after I graduated college was at Tesco. I worked with another startup for 3 years,
Okay.
which was in the basketball analytics space. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, I went to the US. I was in the
Okay.
US for 5 years. I
Mm-hmm.
did my master's in Columbia with a
Okay.
very analytics kind of course, analytics and
Mm-hmm.
math kind of course. And then
Okay.
came worked with Rocket Internet in Nigeria, worked with Shutterstock and Lean Startup Machines, so there are two other companies. And then
Mm-hmm.
was in South America for 7 months. And then post
Oh,
that, I was on my own for a while. Like I ran a consulting shop to help companies with a lot of like go to market. And
mm-hmm.
I've had two entrepreneurial ventures before Lyzer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shiva and I have been in touch very on and off. I think Shiva started Power Up Cloud in 2015. And one of my very good
Okay.
friends was one of his co-founders, Power Up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think the next is, I think we went back and forth a little bit on the marketing side for Power Up. I've had him on a podcast. I've had him record some content for Master Life. That was
Mm-hmm.
my venture. And then
Okay.
finally, Shiva started Lice in 2023 August, and I joined him
Okay.
in December 2023.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. I've gone through your office space in LinkedIn just now, and I've gone through your website also. I could see something big is coming up. Already things are in place.
I don't know. I think we're trying to be bold. We're trying
Mm-hmm.
to. It's a very exciting space because there's so much happening, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's ever been a better time to jump into the AI world. Barrier to entry is
Okay.
low, capital availability is high, and there's just generally a lot of forward momentum, I would say.
Okay. Great. For example, I mean, I don't know anything about AI, but most of the people are listening nowadays, the generative AI, agentic AI, AI builders. Can you explain to our students in a simple way what exactly this generative AI and agentic AI, which is different from regular AI? People will say generically AI, but precisely what is this generative AI and agentic AI
Yeah,
and all?
yeah, good question. So I think generative AI is a relatively new discipline within AI. I think it really picked up after Chat GPT came up with its model,
Mhm.
GPT 3.5 in November 2022. And the way to think about it's a form of artificial intelligence that can generate information,
Correct.
which is in the form of video, audio, text, image, and code. And
Mm-hmm.
the way the model is set up in a way where it has looked at all this data that's available out there in the world, which is publicly available, and it's
Mm-hmm.
able to, in some sense, generate similar or better output. Compare, and it's trained in a way where it's able to take a lot of that input and then give you like very new creative outputs.
Yeah.
And as a result, you're seeing a lot of disruption that's taking place in
Mm-hmm.
content. Like you have AI
Yes.
now that can create blogs, you have AI that can create videos. And suddenly a lot of people are worried, like, oh, as a freelancer, man, will I lose my job? Right. So I think that's where the world is headed in terms of generative AI. In terms of agentic AI, I would say in the literally last 6 to 8 months, Upendra, agentic AI has picked up as a concept.
Correct.
Uh, Agents at the core of it are basically tasks. They think of them as it's like AI that can do things autonomously or on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a good example is think of driverless cars. So if you just
Mm.
like if you use the phone and say, "Hey, I want to move from, can you come and pick me up and then drop me to my co-working space?" That driverless car will figure out where you are, pick you up,
Yes.
and then drop you there. Versus today, a lot of the AI is set up as Uber or Ola, which is I have to select
Mm.
A, I have to select B location, and then it has a
Yes.
map, and then you have a driver, and the driver today is human. So if if AI today is able to take you from point A to point B as driverless cars you're already seeing, imagine that in the software world on
Yeah.
how advanced it's becoming. So agents, if you tell an agent, okay, can you do research about Upendra online? If you've added all the parameters of, hey, this is where you should be doing research from. Once you do the research, put this information on a Google Doc. The
Mm-hmm.
agent is smart enough to figure out information about Upendra from different sources, prioritize, and then able to put that information, let's say, into a Google Doc. So once you kind of set the input, it should
Yeah.
on its own be able to do autonomous tasks. So that's where,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're seeing a lot of good applications around it because people are like, man, I don't want to send out 30, 40 emails a day every day. I just want to speak
Mm-hmm.
to customers. Or don't make me fill out this document around performance. Can I speak to into an agent and then it automatically assesses and then gives me a recommendation and insights. So the disruption that you're seeing is in a lot of repetitive tasks
Yeah.
and in places where privacy is not, I mean, it's important, but people are starting off with layers where it's like I can run this as a POC or an MVP on layer in content which is not as private. So that's
Okay.
why you're seeing a lot of disruption in sales and marketing first.
Yeah. Almost
And
every
then
domain is getting impacted with AI. Things are getting smarter and faster.
yeah, I mean, I think a great analogy is like the world is moving online. Like imagine the world was offline, internet didn't exist, and now everyone's going to get impacted on moving online. Like that's the big technology, right? And we all have to learn how to be online. Like it is very random. My parents, just to give you some context, they're actually quite tech savvy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
they have I mean they have Netflix at home and Geo. They have an Amazon Echo. So my parents love the fact that they can just book through Big Basket and vegetables comes home. But they went to
Mm.
visit one of their. My dad went to visit his brother in Baroda, which is in Gujarat,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and they had never seen Netflix. They had never used any of these OTT platforms. So my dad went there, downloaded Netflix, paid for it, got them to use it because they're like, oh my God, there's all these new things that I can watch now. And I think that's going to be the difference, of somebody
Yeah.
who's online and the world that you have with online versus never being online. So, um, but it'll hit every layer, I think, Upendra. Like even the phones, I think, will evolve. Like you won't have applications
Yeah.
anymore on the phone. I guarantee you that you'll have Siri like or Jarvis like voice.
Mm-hmm.
And with voice, I think the cool thing is it's faster than typing.
Correct.
So and you can also do it on the go, right?
Correct.
And who knows, with Neuralink that's also come out that Elon Musk is
Might
talking
be.
about, like
Yeah.
I may not even have to speak, I might have to think it, you know.
You just
So
give a thought, things will, I mean, I want to book a ride in Uber. Just I'll give a thought, the Uber will book.
yeah, you just have to worry that you don't have crazy thoughts, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Coming back to this AI topic, Anirudh, few set of people will think AI is coming, evolving, advancing. But if you see on a ground level, generative AI is something people feeling outdated. Now, agentic AI, everybody is talking about agentic AI and agentic AI. What next might come in, as per your understanding? Every day, the AI is evolving into next steps, right?
So I would say I think it's called agentic AI. I mean, I don't personally use the terminology agentic AI. It's more agents, and agents are almost like is a they're able to do things like it's almost a subset of generative AI in my mind, because you
Mhm,
have to
mhm.
we're using these agents to generate things, but
Correct.
just automating what the workflow looks like.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I think what you will see in the future, to your point, though, Pindra, is um, imagine in 2025, people are starting off with, hey, I have one agent that can do, let's say, automate sales. I have one
Mhm,
more set of agents that can automate marketing. Now
mhm,
imagine in the future, these agents are able to speak to each other.
mhm, mhm.
And then they're all able to speak to each other, and it becomes like an agent workforce.
Yeah.
And then after the agent workforce, Upendra, let's say, can have his own company, and you have one superior chief strategy officer agent. And you're like Jarvis talking to Iron Man. I think that's where the world will head.
Correct.
Things will get faster, compute will get cheaper. Um, and I think you'll need more entrepreneurs as you move forward. You'll have to get better at figuring out where you can create value.
Yeah. Do you really think, I mean, if AI can code, if AI can market, and if AI can analyze, do we need really employees anymore?
We will always need employees.
Mm,
I think their roles have evolved a little bit. So, for
correct.
example, humans at the core of it are highly creative. And what does creativity
Yes.
mean if you have to break down creativity? It is Upendra, let's say has a background in basketball and let's say math.
Mm,
They are two very different topics that are not connected. And you're able to put those together with your experiences and come up with something new and visualize what the future could look like. Right. And that's what we were meant to do. It's just that we were not meant, once you've visualized it, you need somebody to execute, and you need to bring humans usually together to execute. But now the expectation of humans will be is, can you do more with these tools? Can you come up with new products? Can you come up with more revenue? Right. So humans, in my mind, will still be very top of the pyramid,
correct.
but the expectation will be now is like you have to upskill.
Exactly.
I right, like I won't ask you to code anymore. I will ask you to how to build a product using these tools.
Mm,
Right.
mm, mm.
I won't ask you to create an image. I'll ask you how to build a marketing strategy. Right. So
Yeah.
you need to suddenly start becoming someone who truly understands frameworks, understands the industry a lot more, understands what's available to kind of put a lot of these things together.
Yeah. So what do you think the foundation skills required to come into this generative AI era?
I think like the skills of an explorer,
Mm,
uh, it's like in the 16th century when Christopher Columbus, I mean, that he has a bad reputation, but when he decided to leave the UK and then travel the world because, hey, there's this whole industrial revolution that's out there, he went
mhm,
there to find resources that's available to build things,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And he was willing to go into navigate into waters that didn't exist, not even follow the maps, right? And the ones that took big bets were not risk averse, I think saw a lot of positive output, not just as an individual, but as a country, right? So I think what we have to move towards as a skill set, I think, is obviously like agility, like how good are you, because things are moving so quickly, how good are you at adapting to these new things that are coming out?
Mm-hmm.
I think staying fundamentally curious, Upendra. Like I think we're very
Correct.
stuck to this is who I am, or this is what, oh, I am a coder or I'm a marketing. I think we have to become a little more loose about our identities and
Mm-hmm.
be better at saying, okay, I want to pick up the skill. Like today, AI is the hot topic. Tomorrow, robotics may be the hot topic. Are you ready to go into robotics? Right. So that agility. And I think still being good with humans, because I think we'll,
Mm-hmm.
as much as technology is pushing us further away with AI versions talking to each other, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I'll have to get better with humans to sell to each other.
Yeah. Most of the students will ask, no, one thing, if AI is coding, as a student, should I learn coding or not? That's the question every day I get out of my community. What do you take on this? This is something people always worry. If AI is writing everything, if AI is doing Java programming, Python programming, AI is generating everything, then should I learn coding? That's what the question roaming around in the student brains.
So the what I am seeing in the market is the more context you have about your industry and the business, the better you are with the output of
Mm-hmm.
AI. So
Yeah,
the more you know about coding, the better you will be at coding. So
correct.
I think they should learn how to code today from a place of how to build. So you should still absolutely learn how to code,
Yes.
but once you go deeper into, oh, this is how the architecture is set up, this is how, I guess, you call functions, this is how you connect with different tools. It's very hard for you to develop pattern thinking till you understand base layer, right?
Exactly.
Like I'll give you an example in marketing. If you can bring the same analogy, right? Students may be like, hey, why should I learn marketing if AI can do all
Mm.
image generation and all of that? But then the
Mm-hmm.
question is going to be now is like, what should I create for a campaign to go viral?
Mm.
So that means I have to study virality. I have to study how to put these things together. So they're all very powerful tools, but you still
Correct.
need to learn how to use these tools and understand the space.
Okay. Of course, that's what I suggest people. You need to have this problem solving skill, and at least you should understand what AI is generating to you. It's not like having zero knowledge. Yes, you can survive, but it's good to have this. And Anirudh, what kind of jobs do you think completely wipe out? Like AI can vanish these jobs. Any kind of jobs you think of?
I think content writing is going
Mm.
into AI completely. Um, Actually, all the stuff that you're seeing with generative AI today, that's maybe the challenge, which is a lot of the first layer of entry level jobs will get wiped out, but there'll be new jobs that will be created, and there may be a small lagging effect there that we don't realize. So
Yeah.
for content writers become into content managers, paralegals might disappear. You might need someone who knows how to use these tools. Um, Maybe you don't need level one developers.
Mhm.
So maybe the gap between college and industry will increase potentially, which is a little scary and sad. All the people who do sales outbound, just sending emails and stuff,
Mhm.
AI will get to a place where it can take over a lot of those tasks. So we have to become upskilling is a challenge, dude. Upskilling because it's moving
Seriously.
very quickly, and people don't
Yeah.
have that exposure in schools. I feel bad. Like it's moving too quickly. Moving too
Correct.
quickly.
I agree with this. The gap between the academic and industry definitely going to increase. The rapid evolvement in the industry, what we are seeing is like I mean, sometimes we feel frightened. Okay, what's happening today? Now, all of a sudden, tomorrow another update will come. Let's get back to this learning mode always. And a counterpart, which jobs you think AI will not replace? I know, I mean, it's something people will say, have different opinions on this. What do you say?
It won't replace the entrepreneur role, I think. I think that's why I feel there's a higher need for entrepreneurs. Almost everything offline. I don't think AI will ever replace athletes. It's great to watch humans perform on a field. There's a lot of like people say stuff like a lot of the blue collar jobs may be hard to replace.
Mhm.
Electrician, plumbers, right?
Yeah,
But it'll take a while, man. I think even AI for the next 5 to 10 years will just make us really efficient. I don't think it'll and I keep saying this, right, Upendra, like, and it's very cliched, which is it'll come down to the delta between someone who's got the skill and doesn't have the skill. So
exactly.
you and I are using AI, but let's say Upendra is using AI better and is able to do more, then most probably
Mhm.
I will want to hire an Upendra, right? It'll come down to like a secret language that you know, right, compared to me. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah. So, what do you say on the startups who are working with AI and who are not working without AI? Because nowadays I'm hearing if you are planning something without AI, you are planning, please don't do this. That's what kind of suggestions we get every day. Any startup incorporating AI is essential. That's what the new funda nowadays. What do you say on this? Technology companies.
Hmm. See, the good thing about AI is high leverage. What does that mean? Like you don't have to spend as much and you can get really good output, right? Uh, so there are business advantages of you using AI at the core of it.
Yeah.
Second is I don't believe that for all businesses. Not like all businesses need to use AI. You just businesses where you want to improve your productivity or you want to take care of repetitive tasks, I think their AI is very relevant.
Mhm.
But it's like I think another analogy is like Pindra is like having a mobile app or having a tool or like your software product is mobile responsive. Like, isn't it better if it's mobile responsive and it has a mobile app because almost everybody has a phone?
Yeah.
So you should absolutely, I think, and it's becoming an edge. It's becoming an edge. So you should inculcate that in your business. But again, AI is not the, I think there's the hype cycle is also there's a lot of hype around it, Upendra, which is like people need to be better at not assuming that oh, with the click of a button, boom, I'll get this unbelievable output. I think it's still there's a lot of work that has to go in. So it's coming down to the combination of human and AI in a workflow as of today.
Mhm. Okay. So being an entrepreneur, what AI tools do you use on a day-to-day basis?
What AI tools do I use?
Yeah.
We have built
Of
a lot of
course, ChatGPT might be in top three.
yeah, I use quite a bit of ChatGPT. I'll tell you how we use some of these tools, which I think is also important. I use
Mhm.
ChatGPT for a lot of research, brainstorming, content creation, analysis, and I also use ChatGPT very differently on my phone versus on the desktop. On the desktop, I
Mhm.
use it more as I want to flesh out really exhaustive ideas. I want to make a
Mhm.
playbook. I want to write a definitive guide. Whereas on my phone, it's more like, hey, I want to move from point A to point B. How do I do it? Or what do you think of, like, give me something specific. I'm trying to go to Kashmir, make an itinerary. So, like, I think on the phone versus desktop, also ChatGPT's usage is different. The other
Mhm.
angle is I use Gamma for deck creation. I
Okay.
use I use a tool called Whisper Flow, which
Mhm.
is actually like a dictation tool. So I don't type anymore. I just press the
Mhm.
button and wherever the cursor is, if I speak, it
Okay.
automatically starts creating it.
Mhm.
But the team uses a lot of tools, Pedra. I think there is we use Canva, we use Opus Clips for video clipping. We have agents. I've built a LinkedIn generate agent. I've built a PR agent. A lot of
Okay.
agents that we have built internally where I can just type and it automatically creates the content. Yeah.
Okay. And can you tell us about Lyzer? Like what exactly you gonna do, the ecosystem, what the agents, how you gonna build it, how it will help people who use this?
Yeah, sure. So Lyzer actually it's a data analyzer product, was a data analyzer product, and then we pivoted into an agent builder. So the way
Mm-hmm.
to, maybe in the non-technical world, the way to think about Upendra is if you have Shopify to build websites, you have
Mm-hmm.
Lyzer to build agents.
Okay.
And we are using Lyzer to automate a lot of the workflows today for
Mm-hmm.
companies. You
Okay.
want to automate sales. So you want to send out customized emails. You want the agent to respond. You want the agent to book meetings. The
Mm-hmm.
sales agent can take care of that. Similarly, we have
Okay.
marketing agents. You want to create content, repurpose that for
Mm-hmm.
multiple platforms. We have a HR resume filtering agent.
Yeah.
So you
I'm just
upload
going through
resumes.
your HR agent. I'm just seeing like from JD generation to the screening, filtering, everything done by the HR agent, right?
Yeah. So I think
That's
those are
great.
all the things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think our focus is, can we help people automate all pieces within marketing, within sales, within customer support, within HR, but also now double down on banking, financial services, insurance,
Okay.
where data privacy is supremely important, where being responsible and safe with AI is super important. So that's a differentiator in terms of our architecture.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Anirudh. Thank you so much for your time, and you have shared a lot of insights on AI to our audience.